What's up, guys? Rob Shoecraft here with 3 Storm Fitness, and I'm going to talk to you this morning. It is 8:40 right now, so I've been up for the last almost about 4.5 hours, and there's a point to that. I'm not bragging or anything, but I this past month, this is my 4th week, I've switched over to doing 5 a.m. workouts, which means I got to get up about 4:15 and give myself about 15-20 minutes to get to the gym. So I'm working out at 5, 4 times a week, and there's a reason for that. Mainly it's just because there's no other time left in my day, and I found that I was just slacking big time at the gym. So I get it done early, and it's been going real well. I want to talk to you about my pre-workout meal. I can't work out very well on an empty stomach. I just never really been able to, at least as far as hard workouts go, like steady state cardio and stuff. I almost like it. I almost prefer it. But when it comes to heavy lifting, especially in butt crack of dawn, not even before, it's real hard for me to lift on an empty stomach. On the flip side, I don't want to lift on a full stomach either. This camera angle, I'm experimenting here. I left my tripod somewhere else, so sorry guys. Deal with it, please, I ask. I can't lift on a full stomach. I mean, I probably could, but I don't prefer it. That, and like I said, I give myself about 20-25 minutes to leave the house, brush my teeth, do whatever, leave the house. So time is kind of a factor. Time's a huge factor. So even with a shake, it's kind of pushing it. And I also want something that's real quick to absorb, so I'm ready to, when I go to the gym, I'm ready to go, and it's going to last me for a while. Usually my workout's about an hour, 15 minutes, sometimes hour and a half. So let me tell you what I got here. This has been, I've been experimenting, and this is what I've been working with for, like I said, just about a month now. Going strong. I'm probably not going to screw with this. I like this mix here. So what I have, in no particular order, let's start off with this stuff. Raw honey. This is just Aldi brand raw honey. It's a little more expensive. I think it's like almost $6 a bottle. I'm sure there's like some honey connoisseurs out there who would say like, oh, you got to buy local so you get the pollen that's local to fight whatever allergens. And I've heard a lot of good stuff, and honestly, it probably is good stuff. I don't mean to like downplay that, but I'm not on a hunt for the most optimized honey solution. But raw honey is a step above like your, classic, the little bear. Yeah, everybody's seen that. Actually, I have some of that too. In terms of just, it has like the extra vitamins in it. It has the healthy enzymes. I think it has some antioxidants in it. It's just a little bit better. But when it comes to pre-workout or even post-workout, it's a great carbohydrate source. It's very quick to use, but it doesn't have such a high glycemic index that you crash as hard. I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying that's not going to taper off, but as opposed to eating like having a tablespoon, that's what I usually have, a big rounded tablespoon, probably a little more than a tablespoon of raw honey. And then, as opposed to having like a tablespoon or two of sugar, of white sugar, I'm going to crash pretty hard. I'll get a big jolt of energy, and then I'm going to crash. Honey, you don't have that same crash. I've always heard that. I've heard several people have recommended a tablespoon of honey before workouts to me, and when I started working out at 5 a.m., I started doing that, and I was very pleasantly surprised at how well it works. So, big fan of raw honey. Tablespoon of raw honey. Then let's talk about these guys. I've had a video on the Optimum Nutrition 2222 essential amino acids before, these big horse pills here. I usually take 6 of these. It's about 3 servings of essential amino acids. And that really just helps. I mean, to an extent, I think your body can use like 10% of proteins for energy. It's not a very efficient source of I guess gluconeogenesis, ATP conversion. But you do get a little bit of that. You also, you know, you got some good things in there, like you got different amino acids do all sorts of different things. Basically, what I'm doing is preventing my muscles from breaking down, especially in a fasted state, like, you know, pre-breakfast, and also kind of just getting a jump on. Again, it depends on the workout. Sometimes I'll take some of these like in the middle of the workout, but getting a jump on like the protein synthesis and just kind of rebuilding, recovery. All that's good. You get a little bit of an extra pump, arguably, depending on what kind of a blend it is. I don't tend to take fats. I don't tend to consume many fats before my workout. And it's really just because, you know, I'm operating off of such a small amount of foods here. I'm trying to really get the most bang for my buck. And you tend to get a slower absorption of amino acids with fats. And sometimes I've even heard that it can kind of mess up, so to speak, scientifically speaking, the blend, the ratio of amino acids, in terms of how they're used. So now I'm not saying don't eat fats with protein. Obviously, that'd be really freaking hard to do, especially if you're, you know, getting them from meat, especially like red meat or something like that. And in the evening, that might even be beneficial. Have a nice slow digestion, depending on what your goals are of the proteins. But when I'm talking about using them really as like to fuel my workout, I want to get as much as I can, so I don't really have a fat source going with all this. Then I got a nice little hand fruit. Usually I'll eat an orange or two. These are like clementines, or I'll eat an apple, maybe a banana. And that's just kind of get a little bit of something actually in my stomach. I like the way it feels, and you get a little extra energy. Again, it's you know, fructose, and it tends to work well with the honey too, which is a blend of fructose and glucose, I believe. Maybe double check that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. So again, just kind of a little slower burn of energy source there. And then, lastly, certainly not last, at least rather, sorry, I gotta take a nap, is naps help too, is coffee. I usually get about 2, sometimes 3 cups of coffee before I go into the gym, and just black coffee. I load it up the night before. That way I just walk in, hit the button, and go. I chug my coffee. I usually do like 2 ice cubes in there, pour it in, chug it, pour it in, chug it, pour it in, chug it, go. So that probably is one of the things that's really helped me out, if I'm being honest, is as opposed to working out in the afternoon, which I always have been for the last like 7 years, is I don't drink coffee in the afternoon. So I think this little, even though I'm dead tired when I get up, this little boost, by the time I hit the gym, I got that caffeine buzz going. Caffeine is a proven ergogenic. It absolutely can and will help your lifts, as long, you know, up to a certain amount. I think it's a huge amount. I think it's like 600 milligrams before you start having negative effects. But of course, that all depends on your tolerance. I'm probably talking like 250 milligrams with these, maybe 3 with these cups of coffee, which could be a lot. If you don't drink coffee, I wouldn't start with that. But absolutely helps. And I really, once I get warmed up, I haven't noticed much of a difference with just these 3. I'm going in pretty light. Of course, I get a good post-workout meal. But it's been great. That's all I got. If you guys have any other good, I'm not going to do this angle again. This is terrible. If anybody has any good pre-workout type nutrients that they like, even maybe a brand. I don't normally take like your classic pre-workout, like, you know, whatever explosive sounding name thrown in there. I don't mean to make fun of it, but I just don't really, I don't know. I don't feel like I need it with coffee on my side. So, but if you had any your favorite pre-workout stuff, drop it in the comments. Love to hear it. I will eventually get back to you, I promise. And you guys have a great day. Please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.